Hi everyone, my name is Chrys. For this video, I am discussing earthquakes in connection to seismic crimes. Now, I have never experienced an earthquake or an aftershock or anything remotely like it. The closest I ever came to it was this ride at Universal Studios where you get to be in the stands and you watch people act like there's an earthquake and the stadium where they are acting shakes, and then you get to go into a subway car and there's an earthquake and water comes flooding down up to your subway car. That is the closest that I have ever gotten to an earthquake, and I hope I never experience one, because after writing about one, I know how dangerous and deadly they can be. And because I have never experienced one, I had to rely heavily on research. And I have some of my research right here on my desk to share with you. I have a couple of images that I'm going to try and show you. The first image was taken in October 1989 when an earthquake that measured 7.1 on the Richter scale hit San Francisco. The quake shook the entire San Francisco Bay Area, causing extensive damage to older buildings in the Marina District. The quake also caused the collapse of a highway in Oakland and part of the San Francisco-Oakland Bay Bridge. So this is a picture of the marina that experienced a lot of damage. Now, another picture I have here, it is from January 1995 in Japan. And an earthquake struck, and it was the most deadly earthquake to hit Japan since 1923. And it caused a expressway to collapse. More than 6,400 people were killed, and hundreds of thousands of people were left homeless. This is a picture of the collapsed expressway. Now, as well as those pictures, I also needed a map of San Francisco, and I have some of the map here because my characters, I don't even think you can see it, but some of my characters, they go to Union Square. That's actually where they're staying, and that's where they come out to right after the quake strikes in Seismic Crimes. And they also go to Chinatown. That's actually when they experience the first small little quake and aftershock before the earthquake happens. And I have another picture that I don't think will show up that shows all of the earthquake zones in the world. Now, I want to share some earthquake facts with you because I did learn a lot, and I was the kind of kid in school in science class who loved learning about earthquakes and tornadoes and volcanoes, especially volcanoes. Luckily, I am not going to write a disaster crime story about volcanoes. I thought about it, which is funny because book 3 is set in Hawaii, but I made sure to point out that the volcano that they see is not active. It's dormant. And that's why, there's a tsunami that strikes in that story instead. A volcano eruption, I just didn't think that was very plausible. Now, some of the facts that I have to share here are quite interesting. A 7.9 earthquake has the same energy unleashed as the equivalent of 15 million tons of dynamite. That's a lot of dynamite. I can't even imagine that. In 2002, the U.S. Geological Survey reported that there was a 62% chance that an earthquake of magnitude 6.7 or greater would hit the Bay Area before 2032. I had to double check that. Most likely occurring at the San Andreas Fault. And in my story, Seismic Crimes, that's the quake that happens. The one that the U.S. Geological Survey was predicting would happen. Since 1800, only 4 quakes have been categorized as major at a magnitude of 7.0 or higher. Now, I don't know if that is correct anymore. I wrote this research down many years ago before some of these other earthquakes have happened, and I do know that there have been some extremely major earthquakes over the past couple of years. So that might not be entirely accurate, but still I know the number is still kind of small for that. It's not such a big number of, major quakes at 7.0 or higher. The entire Sunset neighborhood is on unstable ground in California and could collapse in a major quake. So everybody living in the Sunset neighborhood, be careful. I hope that there is no earthquake that strikes, unlike what happens in Seismic Crimes and unlike what the U.S. Geographical Survey predicts. Let's see if I can find some other facts. I know I have more. There's no place on Earth that is completely free of earthquakes. No place. Just because there is no fault line doesn't mean you won't ever experience an earthquake there or experience the shocks of an earthquake that originates hundreds of miles away. If an earthquake happens and it is extremely powerful, you can feel the shakes and the aftershocks for hundreds of miles away. You can feel it on the other side of a continent. Los Angeles is moving towards San Francisco at the rate of 2 inches a year because of 2 large blocks of crust slipping slowly in opposite directions. So, Los Angeles and San Francisco, you guys are getting closer and closer. 2 sides of the San Andreas Fault had slipped about 20 feet during the 1906 quake. 20 feet. Can you just imagine that? They slipped down 20 feet, and that's why the 1906 quake was so devastating. Let's see. There's a theory that suggests that another major quake, like in 1906, will probably occur somewhere along the San Andreas Fault after about 120 years. Thus, in about the year 2026, there may be another severe quake in San Francisco or some other area along the fault. With those odds, that's kind of scary. And, as the years go by, it's 2018 now. 2026 is not that very far away. So I hope that does not actually happen. Authorities have stated that when an earthquake strikes, the strongest shocks that you feel only actually last for about 40 to 45 seconds. Now, it may be very fast, but in that moment, it is an eternity. Just that nonstop shaking, first of the entire quake, and then of the largest shock wave being 40 to 45 seconds long. It just lasts forever. And that was something that I tried to get into Seismic Crimes when I was writing about the initial earthquake scene. No skyscraper has yet been shaken down or even severely damaged by a quake. So that's good news for California right now, that no skyscrapers have fallen. And I know that they do build them nowadays to hopefully withstand earthquakes. But you never know what could happen. Mother Nature has a mind of her own, and she is extremely fierce and strong. If she wants something to come down, it will come down. I hope you thought that these facts were interesting and fascinating. I hope maybe you learned a little something new. Thank you so much for listening. If you want to learn a bit more about California and San Francisco and earthquakes, check out Seismic Crimes. It's a novel. It's available from Amazon and anywhere books are sold online, and I think it is pretty exciting. As the author, I hope I can say that. I really dug into what it's like at the moment an earthquake strikes and what happens after, and all the moments that happen after. You see looters, you see a water main break, you see sinkholes, you see a gas leak and explosion. So I really tried to, show all of the dangers associated with an earthquake. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Bye.